Hi, hi, hi. Welcome. Thank you for joining us in our Enhance Your Experience with Windows in the Cloud webinar by Synergy Advisor. My name is Carla Penso. I am a solution specialist for Synergy overseeing the US territory. Really nice to be here with you guys. So Today, we are going to have a webinar about Windows in the clouds, when we are going to have three speakers. First will be Carlos Londoño, is our device of Microsoft 365 Global Black Belt. He's part of Microsoft team, and he will support us in these presentations. After that, we will have Gerardo Lewis, that is our senior technical specialist. And at the end, Kevin Villalobos, that is our senior consultant, will drive us through a demo of our products. So first, I would like to go a quick overview of our agenda. I will give you, as I did before, the welcome and a quick overview of Synergy Advisor. After that, we are going to see introduction to the modern device manager that will be done by Carlos Londoño. After that, Gerardo will go through why Windows 365. And as I say before, we will end with a demo. At the end, please, we will have a giveaway, and we will share with you some a form just to be filled. And after you complete that form, the winner from the giveaway will receive an email from us. So please, anytime if you have any question, please put it in the chat. Our team and our specialists will be there to answer those questions. So again, welcome to our webinar. So first, I'm gonna go to a quick overview of who we are. We are senior advisor. We are a service professional company and technological company with more than 12 years in the market. Our experience go through security, data governance, modern workplace, and analytics. And we have been here since the beginning. And our main experience go from the compliance. And today we are going to focus in one of our latest offerings, that is Windows in the Cloud. So a senior advisor has different verticals where our business is focused. The first one, as you are seeing in the screen, is the consulting services, when we help the customer to understand, to use, and to adopt all Microsoft technology. So what we do here is that we help the customer to adapt and to understand our products that are based in Microsoft technology, and that goes from a POC, a pilot, and end-to-end deployment, so we can cover the end-to-end travel of the customer and their journey through Microsoft technologies. Also, we have the manage and SOC services, where our main aspect and our main objective is accompany our customer in the day-to-day basis. So we are your right hand in the managing and in the use of Microsoft technology in your day-to-day operations. And we do this through all the Microsoft technology and through all the Microsoft technology. And the third column, as you can see here, is our eSuite solutions. What is our eSuite solutions? They are our own ISV product that are a series of a bundle of different products that seamlessly integrate with each other. And the main feature and capability of our products is to enhance Microsoft technology. So as you can see, all our services are based in Microsoft technology. And what we do here with our eSuite is to improve and extend the capabilities of Microsoft technology. The end of the page, as you can see here, we have been part of all Microsoft program. Here we are in the fast track ready partner. We are also able to help you through all the security and modern work programs in all the Microsoft aspects. So if you have any If you have any, if you want to know more about if you as a customer are eligible to one of Microsoft program when we can accompany you, please let us know. We are going to share our email in the chat. Me and Giselle Hernandez, that is my colleague, we will give you our emails and direct contact, and you can write to us and to see if you are eligible for one of these programs. So now I'm going to give you to our first speaker, that is Carlos Londoño, that is our device and Microsoft 365 Global Black Belt.
Thank you, Carla, and hello, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. As Carla mentioned, I'm Carlos Londoño, and I'm part of the Microsoft and Cloud Endpoint team, specifically focused on product incubation. I'm here with Synergy Advisors to share with all of you our vision for the future of Windows from the virtualization standpoint, and also will help to understand the needs and your organization and the challenges that you're facing and how we can help with that. Um, so with that, let's start. Let's set the stage and to provide some context, right, and to put the needs of virtualization environment into that context. So let's start by mentioning, I mean, some of points that are really relevant nowadays, and what we're seeing in the work environments. And these are coming from studies carried out by Gartner, IDC, and also from the internal Microsoft teams. First of all, as we know, security threats that continue to evolve and demand attention from the business and from IT leaders. As a matter of fact, like 92% of companies say that they face challenges in terms of cost integration and that time to implement data security solutions. We also hear that IT also it's overwhelmed, right? I mean, it's the entire workforce and including those with accessibility needs that depends on IT infrastructure that is reliable, that is efficient, and also requires attention and resources that many organizations, struggle to maintain. So we see that 37% of IT infrastructure, the operations leader say the availability of the skilled people is a tough challenge. Also, well, today people across computing resources. People access computing resources from permanent, temporary workplaces. It could be like home offices, remote locations, with from different type of devices. So IT obviously must protect that organization data, those networks, and that equipment, while also providing reliable access to the workers. I mean, that are using multiple endpoints. So this can result in an inconsistent and insecure computing experience across workspaces, and it increases the difficulty of managing that infrastructure across the end user devices, right? So we see that 34% of the IT leaders uh, say that delivering a consistent experience across the hybrid and remote work environments is a real challenge. And finally, well, we also see that there is an ongoing threat in terms of budget cuts and calls, to be more accountable for IT spending. So there is a great pressure to reduce costs as always, and IT must look for new solutions that provide immediate returns of those investments. So. Uh, there are also, I mean, in addition to that, there are also some challenges in regard to productivity and regulations, right? So, in terms of device and license management, many organizations will have an on-prem virtual desktop infrastructure, a VDI infrastructure that is very expensive and difficult to manage. And some organizations will find pricing to be unpredictable, and while others prefer, the model of the agility of pay as you go service, right? In terms of regulation, where there are like new mandates to track and improve sustainability metrics, such as the carbon emissions. So more organizations are very more concerned about that and how they can implement those rules into the virtualization infrastructure. And lastly, is that you probably heard that you can increase your organization's productivity with generative artificial intelligence or Gen AI, right? And those tools that help the workforce to focus and strategic decisions instead of those repetitive tasks. And obviously, with this new technology, with the Gen AI, where it comes new challenges, right? With IT administrators, well, they have to deal with that. They have to deal to implement and deploy, and to increase that performance on the devices. So definitely a new challenge that we encountered today. So now that we already talked about the challenges that we face today, right? So we strongly believe that Microsoft is uniquely positioned to solve these challenges, these problems that we're encountering. Windows, as we know, is a critical and secure foundation for that exceptional, productivity and collaboration experiences. And there are like three different ways to get Windows. Well, the virtual desktop technology that has enabled, a whole new set of scenarios for today's organizations. Windows 365 is a product that we announced about like a little bit more like 3 years ago. That is a new optimized software as a service solution from Microsoft. Just combines the power of security of the cloud with the familiarity of on-premises PC experience. And with Windows 365 or the cloud PC, we talk about optimizing for simplicity and experience. So those two are the keywords for when you talk about that, when you think about Windows 365, simplicity and that experience, the end user, right? So workers can now, access their Windows desktop from the cloud on any device and anywhere. And really, with Windows 365, we just create a new category. It's a new category of how to consume Windows, how to experience Windows, right? And in terms of AI, in terms of deployment and management, it really doesn't require that like a huge skilled team. To maintain that infrastructure to deploy a cloud PC. So that's when we talk about simplicity, right? It's a licensed product, like any other products that from Microsoft that is licensed in a monthly basis per user, but that is easy to deploy, right? So in a matter of minutes, you can have a Windows 365 Cloud PC deploy and assign to a user. The other solution that we have in the virtualization space is the Azure Virtual Desktop, or AVD, that is optimized for flexibility and control. Again, those two keywords for AVD is about that flexibility, that control, that granular control that I can have to customize to the needs that I need, right? In this case, yeah, more skill. IT team will be necessary. Obviously, to really architect and to plan, etc. But also, having senior advisors to have, to help us with that as well. Is required in this case. But it's really thinking about like control, having that flexibility to customize that environment. And well, ultimately, and the third one that you see here is, as we know it, all workers need a physical device to access their data and applications, whether processing locally or through the Windows Cloud. And that's the most traditional ways that we deliver Windows. But it doesn't, yeah, it's familiar, it's reliable, it's comfortable for the end user, but it doesn't address that cloud side of the hybrid work and the security and downtime risk, and that can come with the reliance on just one device, one endpoint, or if you assign like multiple devices. I mean, obviously there are costs that are associated with that as well. So, Gerardo, you can help me with the next one. All right. So now we're going to talk about, when now that when I talk about like Microsoft being in this unique position, to bring leading solutions for virtualization with building security, policy engines and compliance, while providing predictable costs and also a productive and familiar environment for the end users. Well, this unique position has also been recognized by third parties like Gartner. They name Microsoft as the leader in the Magic Quadrant for desktop as a service, and with and this is because of the ability to execute and having that completeness of the vision of a full solution with Windows, with Microsoft Intune, for endpoint deployment and management, for productivity with Microsoft 365, and also for compute, obviously from Azure. Um, you go to the next one, Gerardo, please. Okay. Now, I'm talking more about like this new category of to experience Windows with Windows 365. Yes, we're bringing Office to the cloud. We also, Outlook. Years ago, right? That was on-prem. Now it's on the cloud. So now we have Office 365, a SaaS service completely running in the Microsoft cloud. So we are taking Windows to the cloud as well with Windows 365. So Windows is really now evolving from more like from a device-based operating system to a hybrid personal computing platform that is flexible for people, that is scalable for the business, and obviously offering that powerful configuration for innovation as well. So we see three main pillars when we talk about Windows 365. The first one is about productivity from any device. It's enable versatility or enable versatile work models, delivering deliver reliable and scalable and secure end user experiences. The second one is about how to manage more efficiently. The Windows 365 and Microsoft Intune, it can be managed with other devices. So you have only like a one portal, one control panel for either your virtualization endpoints or your physical endpoints as well, right? So everything is centralized. And the other pillar, last but not least, is the secure. It's completely secure by design in order to mitigate those risks and security breaches, and that support that zero trust security principles as well. All right. Um, Now here I wanted to just show some of the scenarios that we found customers adopting, but obviously it's not limited to just this. But this is what is resonating with our customers, that they're seeing a lot of success when they think about our virtualization solutions. So the first one is data security and regulatory compliance. Like keeping the organization's data and resources will secure, while allowing the proper access by the different type of user profiles. The other one is about disaster recovery. It's about maintaining that business continuity, even in the face of long-term regional outages or service interruptions. Concrete example here, the situation that we have recently with the whole cross-strike situation. I mean, organizations that deploy Azure Virtual Desktop, Windows 365, they were able to recover those machines in volume, not just one by one, but like a big set of these virtual machines, just to recover in a matter of a couple hours, right? Um, the other scenario that we see is about bring your own PC. Now that thinking about like reducing costs, why not like organization maybe adopt that bring your own PC scenarios where that you can assign, instead of assigning like a physical device, you just can assign a PC in the cloud with Windows 365 or Azure Virtual Desktop, right? Hybrid work and travel. I mean, there's access to an on-demand IT services for mobile. We can talk about here like call centers, branch workers, etc. Short-term temporary workers. So we think about supporting that increasingly elastic workforce. Contractors, partners, consultants, and students, etc. And the other one is about high performance and high capacity computing for developers, so that maybe engineers that they need some 3D rendering, for example, things like that. Well, we offer configurations with high-end specifications, with even the GPUs that can provide that performance that is needed. The other one that is interesting is mergers and acquisitions. We see that, in this scenario where, these companies merging, well, they need a transition to be seamless and to be quick. So what we notice is, in this case, that they can be assigned to these temporary cloud PCs to reducing those times in that transition. Um, well, I think that's all. I believe, Gerardo. I think, yeah, I'm not gonna touch on those last three slides, but that's all from my side. Thank you very much for having me here, and again, working together with Synergy Advisors to support everything on your virtualization projects. So please reach out if you have any questions. Gerardo, up to you.
Thank you so much, Carlos. And good morning, everyone. Well, this is our agenda. Why Windows 365? We are going to talk about a little bit of security, cloud seats that are basically fit your needs, planning your deployment, and we're talking about the unified management solution. So, why Windows 365? Well, let's dive into Windows 365. Really is a service or cloud-based service that automatically creates a new type of virtual machines in the cloud. So it's a named Cloud PC, and that's for your end user. Each Cloud PC is assigned to an individual user, and it's going to be their dedicated Windows device and provide security, productivity, and benefit or collaboration benefits, right? So now that the way that we are working is changing, people more often stay at home, prefer to stay at home. 51% of the people needs to have some kind of hybrid situation, right? Sometime in the office, sometime at home, or other ones prefer to stay at home. So now the challenge for the companies are getting more secure, trying to not get any kind of breach of security. And there's a lot of exploitations around the world, right? And then IT professionals feel overwhelmed to bring or trying to manage their remote services. The problem is that there's a lot of sensitive data that needs to be secure. 92% of the company reported they face challenges in cost and integration and time and effort and deployment or implementing the data security, right? So that's a hard, right, for the IT departments. Um, what needs to be completely correct before we adopting a modern workplaces, a workplace that the endpoints environment needs stay, secure, stay completely right. So there's um, a lot of effort around the world to make this fit into the company's security policies, and then um, the that management of cloud PC should be simple, not to have a lot of time and effort to adopt, and the end users will be taking it easy, right? So that's a problem. And anywhere around the world, the companies make a lot of effort to um, build solutions to those scenarios where people are working remotely. And then we have the cloud PC as a new service. We have a virtualization, which it needs a lot of knowledge about infrastructures. And then we got the new version of Windows, right? The cloud PCs as are in the category of desktop as a services. And then here is where um, those came into this initial approach to get in contact with that technology. Um, what I want to really do is to cover the basic of Windows 365, what you need to know before diving into Windows 365 technology, and starting provisioning cloud PCs to your end user, right? So we'll talk about all what Carlos mentioned before, the challenges that people have bring your own computers, programs, disaster recovery, hybrid work, um, and we have the problem of high performance computing that we are developing nowadays, and we have another kind of problem that are the provisioning of computer for temporary workers, of people that are coming to our companies and stay for a while and then go and then back, and that's the challenge, that's the problem. Windows 365 solved for us, right? Well, um this is what Microsoft is trying to do with us, is trying to people love the Windows 365 technology, which is easy, pretty simple to use. The end user can use three types of communications, like or try three types of connections, which are web-based applications. Sorry, they can use the remote desktop, and there's an app that you can trust and um, start consuming 365. Okay, so Windows 365 is totally aligned with Zero Trust approach, which is managing endpoint. It's integrated with the identity, apps, network infrastructure, and data. All of them are involved in the quickly and efficiently way to respond to security in our companies. The Zero Trust model, as we know, is a the way that Microsoft managed today's security. No matter if there's a trusted device or there's a trusted identity inside of our network, we will always test the security of them. So that's the idea of zero trust model. So the cloud PC is included in here, and we can use the whole muscle of Azure to deploy our cloud PCs. Okay. Um, Windows 365 is totally integrated with Entra ID, 365 apps, Microsoft Defender, and Microsoft Intune. So you don't have any um, problem to, if you already have those products, you can integrate your cloud PCs to it. Right? Well, I want to say, or I want to talk about Windows 365 that comes in two versions. We have we have three versions really. It's a frontline version, which is people who come temporarily to our companies, or have a different shift to get access to the services on a company. And there's another couple of products that are important, okay, which are the two different versions that are related with the with the normal people, business people, enterprise people, which are Windows 365 Business and Windows 365 Enterprise. Okay, the version business came um, very simpler. You don't need any kind of requirements to access or deploy or give a bird machine or cloud PC to your end users. Is the onboarding is totally simple. Um, the the adoption for customers or including the end user is pretty simple and support the assignment of a license as you assign it any kind of Microsoft 365 app. So it's included as part of this specific version and has some limitations, which is our less than 300 users. On the other hand, we have the Windows 365 Enterprise. I didn't mention that as soon as you get the Windows 365 business license, Microsoft will handle your network, which is mean that the provision you don't have access to the virtual networks or the networks that manage your cloud PCs using the Windows 365 business license. On the other hand, we have the enterprise, as I mentioned. The only requirement, or a couple of requirements, is that the company needs to have a Windows 11 or 10 enterprise, needs to have Microsoft Windows and Entra ID P1 as part of the requirement. Um, you can provision it by policies, intra join. You can manage group of users. You can choose a gallery of image and customer provided image, which is mean that you can customize any kind of image and deploy through Windows 365 Enterprise. And there's no limit of a number of users that can be provided with a permission, but there's something different or benefits that Windows 365 Business has, which is that the hybrid benefits, which is mean that if you already have a Windows 11 or Windows 10 license, you can have access in the permission. You can have like 16% of discount, which is important for the customer at any time that they want to choose any kind of version of Windows 365. Okay, so well, as I mentioned before, all right, there's kind of brew machines that you can choose. Let's say that you will need, as Carlo mentioned before, you will need maybe a GPU. It came with a model of, there's around 60 models of brew machine that you can choose. And there's one with four vCPUs, 16 gig of video card, uh, 56 of RAM, 110 gigs of RAM. So there's a different type of virtual machine. But what about if I choose the not the correct virtual machine that fits the need of our end users? If we have the version business, um, and we choose another kind of or the wrong bird machine, we probably may need to pay for another license and change it, right? So we can downgrade or upgrade Rumiro machines, but for some reason, in part or as part of the technology, the hard drives cannot be resized. So that's important for us. All right. Okay. Another item that I want to mention is that for taking information out of the brew machines, you will not be charged depending of the brew machine. Some of the brew machines, let me see if this here. All right, some of the brew machines have some kind of output data limitations when we choose the correct one or the different one. And if we let's say that we need I don't know 12 gigs of data transfer between a month. So there's no limitation for some kind of bird machines to um for moving that important data. But if you exceed the the size of the data outage, you will have a bandwidth limitations later on. So that's important to understand before we choose some kind of their machines, right? So plan your deployment depending of your needs or the kind of license that you're getting. You need an Azure subscription. You need to associate your resources to Windows 365 region, and then configure Entra hybrid join in order to manage the permissions and access to those virtual machines, right? And some of the cases will probably deploy the virtual machines um, through Intune, portal, and then there's a policy and some configuration that we need to set up before deploy those virtual machines. Okay, so we get the license, as I mentioned before. It's like assigning a Office 365 license, and then we configure Intra. We assign the required credentials for access to that specific virtual machine, and then we deploy through Intune. Those are a process that we do while getting the enterprise license, right? So there's another way to bring your own network, which is mean that you're gonna use your Azure BNet in order to have access through the Windows 365 or our cloud PCs. As I mentioned, you gotta have a Windows 365 license. You gotta have an Azure subscription. Configure your Entra. You gotta associate the Azure resources like BNet to the Windows 365, and then set some credentials and deploy it through the internet. Those are scenarios for specifically the Windows 365 Enterprise license. All right. So customers will save a lot of money. It's really easy to adopt the technology. Um, when For Azure, as you know, for Azure, if you try to download some information or download some backup, that count as a taking information out from Azure, and then those files will generate a code for a company. And Windows in the cloud or Windows 365, we don't have that problem, but there's a transfer limitation in between, right? So it's pretty simple, pretty nice. We can unify this solution with Intune. Um, Intune, like the System Center does, it's the way that we can manage the devices around the world, remote devices, and has no operating system limitations. So Windows 365 doesn't have that limitation that is only focused on Windows. You can use Mac, Android, including Linux, in order to have access to the bird machine. So that's a pretty item that we are experienced with Windows in the cloud. Okay, so let's see this scenario. So you could simply your IT process means that it's really easy, real easy. You don't have to put your effort or focus on managing your architectures, managing the cloud, managing Azure. If you choose the business version, it's pretty simple to access, pretty simple to manage. You don't need a lot of technical skills to start provisioning your cloud PCs to your end users, which is mean that it's gonna give you a lot of time to manage the rest of your network. There's a bunch of tools that we can use, manage. We can deploy, if you have the enterprise version, you can deploy your virtual machine through Intune. And as I mentioned, every data will be protected. We can manage our risk-based policies, and then we can set up some controls, and we're going to accomplish with in the zero trust approach that we are trying to set up in our networks. So there's another way. The end users For the end users, pretty simple. As soon as Intune deploy the Windows 365 cloud PCs, the end user will be totally protected, will be totally comfortable because it's pretty simple. You don't need to get a new hardware in order to get access to the virtual machines. You can use your own browser or different one. Like I mean, you can use Chrome or uh, I don't know. Safari in order to get access to the virtual machines, and that's make it easy, right? So as I mentioned, it's totally compatible with any kind of operating system that are in the market, and the workforces are totally protected. So at this time we have Kevin and our colleague Kevin and Daniel, which gonna show you a demo and how it works. And the most important part is that you will see the on practice. Thank you. Kevin, you there?
Yeah, thanks for the handoff. I'll start sharing my screen so we
Go
can
ahead.
take a look. So we'll start the demo with um, kind of the provisioning portion of this, so we can look at things kind of from the beginning. The very first thing that you're going to need is to create a group in Intune to be able to assign the different members and licenses that you're going to require for the provisioning policy itself. So once you go to intune.microsoft.com, you'll navigate to groups, and right here you can assign or provision a new group. We already have one in place for the demo here, which has the uh, members that are going to be used for this demonstration. So once you have your group in place, you'll navigate to licenses on the left-hand side, and you'll go to assignments. Under assignments, you'll select uh, the license that you are going to be using. This will determine the CPUs, the RAM, and the storage that will be assigned for the disks of the virtual machines themselves. Um, as you can see, this one already has it assigned and active. We'll see the members here. We have Anna and Samuel. Once you have your group with the licenses and your members uh, joined, you will want to go to Devices, navigate to Device Onboarding and Windows 365. You'll be prompted with the overview page first, where you'll be able to see if there's anything provisioned so far. You have some product documentation at the bottom, and you can go to all cloud PCs once you have some in place. Here we can see the ones that have already been provisioned for us for this demo, and you'll go ahead and move to provisioning policies and create a new policy. There isn't a specific requirement for the naming schema. It's mostly going to be dependent on uh, your own network and system, however you guys want to catalog that. You can enter a description, but that is optional. Um, For the purposes of this demo, we are using an enterprise license, which means that each individual user will have their own cloud PC assigned to them frontline. They kind of share a virtual PC between them that's more oriented for a PC that's going to be shared amongst different users based on their shifts, so that you're not always provisioning one single machine to one single person. There are two join types here, which is going to be Microsoft Entra Join, which is going to be fully on the cloud, and hybrid Microsoft Entra Join, which will require you to have a network connection or a VNet with Azure in order to be able to integrate your hybrid machine with your Azure environment. We're going to show you kind of the Microsoft Entra join, and same goes for the network. You can use Microsoft's hosted network, and you'll just select the region in which you want to assign it. In this case, for example, US East 2, or 1, however you want to go about that route. Or you can use, again, your Azure network connection. Selecting the use Microsoft Entra single sign-on will give you the option um, to essentially have your users log in either of the two ways that they can, which are with the Windows app or the browser, and not be prompted for credentials once they join after the first time that they open up their connection. I'll demonstrate that in a moment. We'll hit next. Oh, And here you're prompted with two different potential options, which are gallery images, which are provided by Microsoft. These images, they range Windows 11 Enterprise with apps, different OS optimizations. You can select different versions here, as well as Windows 10. If you had custom images already created in Azure that you wanted to implement for your users, you can also select custom image. But you won't have anything there if you don't have an Azure environment already set up. Right here, you can kind of take a look at the default language and region that you're going to be using for the cloud PC, and you can select the Windows Auto Patch service, which does have certain requirements that can be kind of brought up at another time, but it's mostly for the intents and purposes of keeping your cloud PC up to date. We're not going to go into scope tags right now, and right here you're going to add the group that you've created into. I'm not going to complete this process because we already have this provisioning policy in place. If we take a look inside, you should see that we do have the Cloud PCs group already assigned to this provisioning policy. Once we go to all cloud PCs, these are the different PCs that have been provisioned through that provisioning policy, and you can actually see the name here. And the naming schema kind of goes through CPC, their name and the like. You can see which users have them. And this status will tell you if it's provisioned, if it's suspended, if it's provisioning at that point in time. The reason we're not doing the provisioning right now is because provisioning can take up to 30 minutes, and we want to keep the demo as compact as possible. So now we can go into very quickly what your users are going to see once they've had a machine provisioned to them. Once you go to windows365.microsoft.com, you'll initially be prompted with a kind of quick tour around the page, what different capabilities it has and what you can do. Once you've already joined in the past, you'll always have this. You can always take the tour again, or just install the Windows 365 app to launch from there. You, as I mentioned before, do have two different options to launch, which would be from the browser, or you can open from the desktop app in itself. You can, the opening through the browser is usually a little bit quicker, but that is going to be limited to situations in which you're going to do a quick connection. You're not on a personal computer. You need to like quickly check something, so you'll be able to log into the windows365.microsoft.com page and launch your session from here. You can ensure that your data isn't going to stay on that PC. Otherwise, it could be, for example, you're traveling, you're using a computer that you're usually not going to be maintaining a connection to your network through. Once you open from the browser, you can select the devices and features you want to do. If you want it to be able to connect to printers, if you want it to have access to your microphone, clipboard, camera, etc. You can connect. And this process usually takes a couple minutes. Um, Once that's established, we'll be able to see. You see, this was fairly prompt. You can either allow or block the use of your cameras, your location, your microphone, and the like. Once you're connected to this, this is essentially going to be a carbon copy of your uh, your on-site computer. Essentially, if you have a domain joined computer that's already being managed by Intune or MDM. So wherever you access from, you'll have access to all of these different things through OneDrive and your file share. We haven't actually downloaded any apps, and if you take a look, we do have Word, we have Excel, and Edge already installed. This is a brand new provisioned PC, and it already has all of these. The use of the app, you'll be prompted with this once you sign in for the very first time. You'll be able to pin your devices to home, or you'll always navigate to devices in case you have more than one provision to you. This is going to be the same PC, and you can connect from here. The connection for the very first time via the app will take a few more minutes than in the browser. It does a couple extra checks, and we're not seeing the single sign-on currently because this user has already logged in to this device from this Windows app in the past. So it does have single sign-on, and we'll see that it doesn't prompt me for a username or password.
Thank you so much for the time, everybody. Thank you, team, for the time. Again, my name is Giselle Hernandez. I hope to see everybody and talk to everybody soon. And with that, we are finishing the Enhance Your Experience with Windows in the Cloud with Synergy Advisors webinar. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day.